So I am so excited to welcome back Bradley Hahn to this podcast, Lottery Dreams and Fortune. Bradley won $10 million from a scratch ticket in 2016. I previously have interviewed Bradley on this program a couple times. We will put links to those interviews below. But right now, with the state of the Mega Millions jackpot, it is the second highest in its history. It is $1.35 billion. It is a huge, crazy prize. And so we're definitely going to be talking about that. But before we get to that, I have so many questions for you, Bradley. But for people that aren't familiar, so you won $10 million on a scratch ticket in 2016 in the state of Missouri in the United States, which is, that's incredible. That is so incredible, potentially life-changing for most people. How would you say that winning the lottery has changed your life?
Oh man, it's enabled us to do so many things that you only dream of. Obviously, people that play the lottery, I would say most are probably doing it to obviously live the dream, pay stuff off, buy a new house, whatever, And at the time, we were just had our daughter, swimming in debt, just built a house like 3 years before that. So we just had a brand new house, payment, car payments, credit cards, medical debt. All that stuff really just stresses you out, and it just enables you to get that off your shoulders. And it's something that you dream of that you never think that would happen. And when it does, today I still can't believe it happened. But yeah, it just enables you to do within limits stuff that you've never been able to do before, and just live a happier life. As long as you're careful with it, you can live a long, prosperous life if you invest wisely and don't just blow it on dumb stuff, So, yeah, it's definitely made us a lot more happier for sure. Stress-free, debt-free.
For people that haven't seen the first interview, and even if they have, how did it feel to you when you did find out that you won? And this is going on 8 years now. So
7 years.
7 years. Okay, 7. So it's incredible. So how did it feel?
Well, at first, when I saw the matching number, I didn't scratch the prize off right away. So it's a $30 ticket. So spending $30 on a ticket back then was a lot of money. I could fill my tank up probably a couple of times with the car I had at the time. And making $15 an hour, just you don't have a lot of money to gamble with being careful. And when I saw that, I just thought, cool. I didn't lose $30. I got at least $30 here. And I just, for some reason, scratched the prize off. Usually I'll scratch the whole ticket off and just keep memorize or put a little mark by the numbers. But for some reason, I just scratched it from right to left, and I just kept seeing zeros. And then I saw the last, there's 6 zeros. I was like, okay, it's probably $1 million. No way. And then I saw 10. I'm like, that's the top prize. And there's only 3 of them. I was like, there's no way. Thought I scratched the wrong number off. Maybe thought it was a fake ticket kind of thing. Misprint, those kind of things go through your head. I scanned it, and it kept saying 10 million, claim it lottery. So it was shock. Obviously, all those thoughts go through your head of what you can do with it, and relief. But yeah, it was just total shock, and there's no way. There's no way this is $10 million. I'm glad it was, but it's just crazy when that happens. I can't imagine winning $1.3 billion, how that would feel. That would be crazy. Makes mine look like nothing. It's weird how it gets up that high. That's just a lot of money.
How do you think winning $1.35 billion would be different from winning a few million?
I would say there's probably a lot more temptations and stuff that they can do that I can't do. When you get up to that high amount of money, I would think that there's probably a lot more stuff going through your head of, there's more things you can do without running out of money. Like, I'm sure maybe Mike Tyson thought that when he had $400 million and he ran out. So it could happen, but I'm sure there's a lot more joy because you have a lot more money and you can do a lot more things and buy a lot more different things. But there's also going to be a lot more dangers with that much more money too, because you can do a lot more bad things with it as well. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, and you have been pretty wise in investing, and I do want to talk about that a little later. But from my experience and from a lot of people that I've met, winning the lottery has, for not everybody, but for a lot of people, it's tend to magnify personalities rather than change people. Have you found that to be true in your experience, like with how it's changed your life? Has it given you an ability to do things a little bit larger, or what would you say to that?
I would say at first, because, I grew up poor. Me and the wife were living paycheck to paycheck. I had 2 jobs. She had a job, and we were still, kind of struggling with everything we had. And after, I would say, maybe the first year or 2 after we won, I mean, I had some low moments of, doing dumb stuff with the money, spending it on cars and, buying this and that for my vehicles, just dumb stuff, and it takes a while to learn. I got to thank my advisor for this and my wife, because they really taught me a very good lesson of, hey, just because you have all this money doesn't mean you can just keep spending and doing this dumb stuff, because eventually it will catch up to you. And, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and I've learned from my mistakes. And, yeah, it definitely, for some people I've seen, does change their personality, become, arrogant. And there's also some people out there that want to give back, Yeah, I can see where it would just change people into, somebody you never would have thought they'd be, because money does, change people for the bad, and it can change people for the good. So, yeah, I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah, I interviewed somebody that won, I think it was a $250,000. He's really into helping the homeless, and he donated all of it to help feed the homeless,
Oh, wow.
like everything. Awesome. So, yeah.
Like, was he pretty well off before he won, or was it just hey, I don't need this much money?
Well, he was very much he's very spiritual. He believes in God, and he believes that giving that was a really positive thing. And
that's pretty awesome. That's a lot to give away, but I mean, if you're already doing pretty good in life, or who knows, you might be making $100,000-$200,000 a year already, and just a little extra bonus, just give it out and feel good about yourself. But it's hard to say, but that is pretty awesome to do that.
If someone was watching this video and they ended up winning a major jackpot, what is your advice for them? Like, what should they do?
Yeah, stay quiet. Maybe just tell your immediate family. Obviously, with that much money, mine, I mean, I kept it within, like her mom, my mom and dad. I told the wife. And then once the story was out from the lottery, that's whenever everybody else found out, and I couldn't stop that. So, but yeah, definitely sign your ticket. First thing you do, sign back your ticket. I mean, I didn't do that, but I learned that. Signed back your ticket right away. I was just so excited. So a lot of emotions went through your head, and you're not going to be able to think clearly. Sign back your ticket. Call a financial advisor. I'm sure he's got connections with lawyers and CPAs and all that. Get all that stuff settled. Get your accounts opened up. Pay off all your taxes right away. You're going to have the money. Set up your brokerage accounts to get the money transferred into there. Just get a good team. With that kind of money, I would probably recommend having more than one financial advisor, just to have them as a team, of different, companies, to figure out what's best, because it's a 10 million to 1.35 billion is a big difference of what you can and can't do with that money. And just take your time. I want to say like 3 or 4 days, but with that kind of money, I would probably wait a couple weeks just so I know everything is set up. Get your trust set up. If you want to donate some money, the whole plan laid out, and then go up there. And if you can do it anonymously, I would do that. Don't show your face. I think Missouri just went to that a couple of years ago.
Was it that when you won, could you claim it anonymously, or did you not have the option?
No, I can decline a picture in a press conference, but they had to release my name and city. They didn't give like my address out, but they can just name where you bought the ticket from. But I said no to a picture. They wanted to do a big press conference because I was the first winner out of 3 for the 10 million. I was kind of open to
for
it,
this specific ticket, yeah,
because it was the first $30 ticket in Missouri history of that, and then plus that big of an amount. So they wanted to kind of get it out there to the people, like, hey, we got our winner. This is real. We're not just giving out fake prizes. But I felt okay to doing that, but then my advisor said, no, that's putting a target on your back right now, and everything is just going on. It's fresh, new. Like what we're doing now, if you want to talk about it in 3 or 4 years, stuff will die down, that's fine. But just be careful, because it'll put a target on your back, and people will be hounding you for money. I don't get it much anymore unless it's family, but I had a few people come out to work, that I haven't talked to in years want money. So you're going to get that. So, just hire a very good team, talk to as many people as you can to get all the advice before you cash it. Because it's a lot of money. You're going from, say you're making $80,000 a year to, a potential billionaire if you take the, annuity payments. So it's a lot to process.
Oh, I can't imagine. I mean, yeah, if you win $1 billion and 1.35 billion, or that much money, even in the cash option.
What's that? The cash option, is that like 800 million now? If you took the cash option, if you won 1.35, what is the cash option? I can't look right now on my phone, but
well, it would be
half of that.
Yeah, I believe it's half of that before taxes, or right around there. But it's still a staggering amount of money that you can grow.
Yeah,
and I want to talk to you. I want to ask your opinion about investing and what to do with that sort of money from your experience from the last few years. I certainly have my own opinions, but I want to hear your opinion. But before I get to that, you mentioned that people did come out of the woodwork. A few people. I had that happen to me. How do you deal with that sort of thing? Because I've been dealing with that for years.
It's a hard thing to. I mean, that's if it's family, but if it's like somebody that you've known for a while, years, best friend, whatever, it's a touchy subject because it could be mixing money with friends is usually a bad thing, and you just got to learn how to say no because if you keep helping everybody, you're going to run out of money pretty quick. So, when you say no, it makes you feel, like an a-hole. I don't want to say the cuss word, but it makes you feel like you're letting this person down because I have all this money. They need help. I'm saying no. Just got to learn how to say no. It's hard, but it takes a while. Like I tell my family, like, hey, if it's something emergency, like, hey, my roof's leaking, or hey, we're behind on our house payment, we're gonna lose the house, I'll help. I'm not gonna let you go on the street, But the constant, hey, we need this, and then 2 days later, hey, can I have this? It becomes a trend of, okay, I think you're doing more than just good with this. So you just got to learn how to say no, and it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I found that to be true as well, especially to people that were friends and family, or people that I loved and cared about. It was hard to say no, but I had to take the advice of financial advisors and people that told me how much I could afford to spend, and then make a decision on how much of that I can give to people, because I certainly wanted to, and I did give a lot to people, but if you want to be financially responsible anyway, you have to live within a means.
And you find out who your friends are. I mean, my 3 best friends I talk to every single day, they never asked for a dime. I mean, I ended up giving them, I don't know about what I gave them, but like they flat out refused it at first. Like they didn't want it, and that's when you have the real friends. Like they're not there just for money, And I told them, like, hey, just take it. I already got the check wrote out in your name. Just take it. It's on me. But they declined it at first, and it was a struggle to give it to them. So that's when hey, these friends are legit. I'm not saying the ones that just take it and don't say anything are going to be the problem, but you just know who your closest friends are going to be when they say no at first. So, and they don't come ask. They've never asked for money since that either. So,
if you could go back and tell yourself something, what would you say?
I think my mistake was I just got too excited, which rightfully so. You're going to be over the top excited, screaming. Like my situation, I was inside the gas station when I won it, so I didn't want to jump up and down and scream and say, "Hey, I won 10 million." So just know your surroundings.
So you scratched it off in the gas station, and then you learned.
There was a little kiosk in the back of the store, and I just bought one. I had a $30 winner, and I was like, "Well, I'll just scratch it off inside here." So I didn't want to get that scratch dust stuff in my car, so I got there inside, and then I just wasn't expecting that. So just know your surroundings, who you tell, be careful with who you tell. Don't go claiming it that same day or the next day with that much money. I mean, there's so much stuff that you have to get in order. Like I didn't know anything about living wills or trusts. Get that set up. Get your kids, if you have any, set up for life. Where you want the money to go if you both, die, or when you die down the road, like prematurely. Like if something happened to me and a wife, like got in a car wreck, my kids are taken care of. But you know, 80, 90 years old and I pass away naturally, my kids are taken care of. I got that all set up. Get your accounts opened up, get your team set up. Just take the time and just make a plan of what you're going to do, where you want to go, trips, what you want to buy, just a budget. Even that kind of money, I still think you need a budget because you can blow through that pretty quick if you're just taking trips after trip and buying yachts and buying supercars and all this stuff. You can spend 700-800 million pretty quick. So I think I've seen some big Powerball winners take like 3 or 4 months before they come out. I don't know why that long of a wait, but just take your time. I mean, I only took 3 or 4 days, but I had a pretty good plan in place, and it wasn't $1 billion either. So I would probably take at least a couple weeks to get everything set up. So,
yeah, some people take, a year or close to a year. I mean, it depends upon where you live. The rules are different depending upon where you play.
I think the $1 million winner here last night at Mega has till July. So that's 6 months. So I think it's 6 months in Missouri to claim any like jackpot like that, 180 days. So I think some places are a year. So, and then, just like I said with the taxes earlier, like you might live in a state where you don't have any state taxes, which you're pretty lucky if you don't. But you're still going to have to pay taxes. Like if you won it, when's the next one? Friday? So if you win it Friday, you're going to pay a flat amount at the lottery, whatever that is. It's usually 25% plus whatever your state is, minimum. That doesn't mean you're done paying taxes. I mean, I thought I was done, but I wasn't. So the CPA said, hey, you're going to owe another, $900,000 April of next year. I'm like, oh, my God. So you're going to be at the top, which I think is 37% plus whatever your state is. So I think like California is like 13%. You can end up paying like 50% taxes, before you get anything done. So it's crazy. I think Missouri is like 6%, maybe 5% now. I think they cut it, but it varies. Your taxes are going to be different than anybody else because you're going to have deductions where you do for your work now, how much you won, what your state tax is. So, but your federal tax is going to be 37%. You might as well just take that right off the top.
It's really crazy what they take out on taxes.
Isn't it like the UK and like Canada? Isn't their lottery like not taxed? Like you get the whole prize,
That's the case in a lot of countries around the world, and a lot of people that watch or listen to this podcast as well. They live in some of these places where it's not taxed, and it's pretty astonishing where you actually get the sticker prize but then if it says you win 1.35 billion, you would get that prize. Of course, it doesn't usually get up quite that high in these places, but it's still, you get the prize that you see. But here in the United States, here in the United States, here it is taxed. There's a federal tax, and then different states have different rules. But
I don't like how they call it earned income. Like I didn't earn this money; I won it. It should be a different tax bracket for won, versus earned income. Like I worked, that's earned income. Even at a casino, when you win a jackpot on like $1,500, they call that earned income. I'm like, I got lucky and won. I don't see how this is earned income tax, but that's how they word it. So it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but it's still a prize. I mean, people would still mostly obviously take it. It still can be incredible.
Oh yeah.
But
a lot of people were mad about mine. They were like, "Oh my God, you only got 3.8 million when you won 10." I'm like, 3.8 million is more money than I would have ever had in my lifetime. So I'm, it sucks, but I'm happy. I'm beyond happy. So blessed. You can't really look at it the other way. It's painful, but 3.8 million still a lot more than I would have ever had in my lifetime. So just gotta make it work.
Yeah. So remind me for people that have not seen the original interview. So the 10 million, did you have the option to take half right away and then it's taxed? Is that how that works in Missouri? Or?
I could have took 400,000 a year for 25 years, or the lump sum of 6.8 million, which they say that's what the prize is worth that day or whatever at the time, because I guess they invest the money, whatever they say. I guess they take the $10 million and put it in an investment account, and they pay you $400,000 a year. I'm sure they're probably making some money on the back end of that because it's their investment account. So that's kind of why I'm against that. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's what they do. But taking a lump sum, I took a hit right off the top, and then they took, I think it was 45.6% out of that 6.8 million is what I ended up paying total. So I think altogether it was at the lottery, it was 29%. It was like 1.9 million, and then I paid another 900,000 that next year. So it was like 2.9 million dollars in taxes. It was crazy. So
that is crazy. But my understanding of the annuity is that it has a really, really low interest rate. So
like gaining what, like money you gain on it in lifetime?
Yeah. The annuity that the lottery has that it's in, it accrues a very low interest rate. So that's one of the reasons why some financial advisors and most lottery winners choose to do the cash half right away option, because the interest rates are so much higher when you invest it. But on the other hand, you could have this income that for 29 or 30 years that's guaranteed. So that's another pro. But and if you're talking about a jackpot worth over $1 billion, or there's just one in November worth over $2 billion. I mean, that's.
Has anybody claimed that one yet? I don't think anybody's claimed that yet, have they? Powerball?
No. It was in November, and one single ticket in California. And yeah, no one's claimed it yet. That was the highest in history.
Yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe it just won. I figured there was going to be like 2 or 3 winners when it gets up that high, but I mean, when they raised them odds up, I think what they do, add more numbers to it or something a long time ago, and they made the odds go like 1 in 192 to like 1 in 292. Man, like the odds are just astronomical now. So you're seeing a lot more of these big prizes, and you're only seeing like 1, maybe 2 winners now when it gets up this high, because it's just almost impossible to win. So it's unreal how those odds. Mine was like 1 in 4.8 million at the time, because it's based off how many tickets are left, how many tickets were printed. So as the tickets go on, your odds are going to get a little bit better to win that 10 million. Like the last $10 million prize might be like 1 in a million or something. So my odds were terrible because it just started, but 1 in 292 million is wow. I think I figured up I could win 10 million. I don't know what it was, 50 or 60 times before I'd actually win the Powerball or something. So gives you the idea of how rare it is, but somebody's going to win it.
Yeah, and it only takes one to win, and you do have a chance to win if you play. I mean, somebody will win it. But speaking of that, I'm looking right here. I see that I believe it was 2017 that the Mega Millions added, and that's the jackpot as of the recording in this video, that is the second highest in history, 1.35 billion. In 2017, I believe they added more numbers to the Mega Ball, so that it was 1 in 15, and then the odds went to 1 in 25. So they added more options for the Mega Ball, which changed the odds from 1 in 259 million to 1 in 303 million, which some people say is why these jackpots are getting higher and higher. What do you say to that?
I believe that, and I also heard something, the interest rates right now with the Fed raising the rates. I don't know how, but they said you can thank your higher lottery jackpots to the Federal Reserve's higher interest rates. So I don't know, like if the lottery takes this money and just has a big investment account, and then that's how they are able to pay these out. But I was reading that too. I don't know if that's true. I just read it somewhere online like a month or two ago, like the jackpots are getting higher because of that. Yeah, I mean, you get up that high in odds. I mean, what's the population of the United States? 300 million, 350 million? Thinking about it, if each person bought one ticket, $2 ticket, there would probably be one winner. According to those odds, could still be 2 winners. But that just shows you how astronomical it is. And that's why these jackpots are getting bigger, because it's so hard to win that jackpot. But it is weird how you can win one and then 2-3 weeks later, another one's won the same game, and then you can go 18-20 weeks without a winner. It's weird how the computer, whatever they have that draws these numbers, is able to, I don't know if it determines when there's a winner or how it works, but it's weird how you can go that long without a winner, but then you can go back-to-back winners sometimes.
Yeah, and some people win. I mean, no one's won yet a jackpot twice from a major jackpot from Mega Millions or or Powerball, but I mean, that could happen. But people do win lottery prizes twice, sometimes multiple times.
Yeah,
So
I've seen it. There's quite a few that I don't know anybody personally, but I've seen a lot of stories of multiple winners, lightning striking twice. Some of them, I think one of the Missouri ones that was 4 or 5 years ago. Like the same gas station, different ticket. He won the same prize. I think it was like 100,000, and he went back a few years later and won another 100,000 from the same gas station. So it does happen. It hasn't happened to me unless we count Vegas as striking twice. I mean, I did win 150,000 out there right after I won 10 million. I don't know if that really counts as lightning striking twice, but
was that
I've never won.
What was that on?
I think we talked about our first video was slot machines. I think I won like 28 jackpots. I took 10,000 with me, like right after we won the 10 million. It was a birthday weekend, 2017, and first time ever being to Vegas. And I won 54,000 like within 5 minutes of ever playing in Vegas, and it just kept winning. And I think all together it was like 154,000 I won. I brought home like 70 or 80,000 because it takes a lot to win in high limit. You're doing $200 spins. It eats it up pretty quick. So I didn't come home with that much money, and obviously I had to pay taxes on that and everything because I think that was the year we had to pay our massive amount of taxes as well. So, I don't think that really counts as a lottery, lightning striking twice. But I don't see myself ever winning again because I don't gamble anymore. But the wife will buy a Mega Millions or Powerball ticket every once in a while. But it can happen.
Yeah, and. We will put links to the previous interviews with you below if anyone wants to listen to your story.
I think I was looking last night that those two videos were your top 10, two of the best videos of your top 10 views wise. Like, so it's pretty crazy. It's getting up there in 100,000 views each. So doing pretty well.
Awesome. It's a unique life to live if you win the lottery. I mean, it's really, and it is, as we've talked about previously, it's a really small club.
Yeah, it is. I think Missouri, they started in the 80s. There's only been, I think it's way less than 200 millionaires and, going on 40 some years now. So it's a rare club to join. But when you do, it's going to be however you want to make it to be. If you want to be this fancy, arrogant person, that's who you're going to be. But you can be somebody that's laid back and chill, does a few things, gets it out of the way, and just lays back and enjoys life. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now, just enjoying being with the kids and the wife. We travel a few times a year, and that's pretty much it. I stay home a lot, work out at the gym. That's my life. I don't, I drive a Ram pickup truck. I don't have a Lamborghini or any kind of sports car like that. So we live in a modest $400,000 house. It's nothing big mega mansion, but it's a nice house, and you just don't need those big flashy things to show our status,
Would you say that the money has not changed you?
At first it did. Like I said, I will be real honest. At first it made me, because like I said, I grew up poor, never saw that many zeros in my bank account. And I had to get my Corvette, I got me another car just to have, because couldn't put car seats in the Corvette. So I had to get a car to carry the kids around. I had to. And then I was helping friends out with their businesses, and I was trying to get something together with another buddy with a business, and it just all came to bite me in the butt, and I lost a couple of those friends because they got mad at me for not following through. The dumb things I did with money, I really had to sit down with the wife and advisor and just talk it out and get that out of the way. I got out of my system, recovered from it. We didn't lose all our money. It wasn't that bad at all. I mean, last year's stock market was way worse than what I ever did. So you just got to learn from your mistakes and, move on and try to be a better person. That's kind of where I'm at now. I've learned my lesson not to do that, and it was dumb. I had fun. It was awesome doing that stuff in my car and, going to the casinos and taking trips there and there. But after a while, you just got to stop and enjoy life, and just stay home and let the money build,
Yeah, and one of the first things you did was call a financial advisor. There's so many people that have questions about that because they don't have the first clue of what to do. But what is your advice to someone watching this that that may win the lottery, like, why is it important to find a financial advisor, and where should you look? And you also mentioned a brokerage account. So
Mm-hmm. I admit, I mean, I was dumb when I won. I had no clue about financial advisors. I had no clue what a brokerage account was. I knew the stock market existed. I didn't have the money to invest in the stock market then, so I had no idea how it worked or how you bought stocks and nothing. Like I said, I didn't know anything about a living will. When I got home that day, I was, just got off work. I'm like, I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna go up to the lottery office. I'm gonna cash this and just have a, amazing day. And just something clicked my mind, like, this is a lot of money. Where do I put this money? I just can't put it in a checking account, can I? I didn't know, so I started Googling. I just went to Google, like a lot of things I do around the house. If I need something fixed, I'll go to YouTube and say, how do you fix this? Or how do you replace this? And I get my answer. Google was my answer. I'm like, what to do when you win the lottery? And then like step one was call financial advisors. I'm like, let me see if there's one, around me. But there was like maybe less than 10 minutes away. And it just happened to be my current advisor. And, went in there and he took me to lunch and told me everything. And then that evening when the wife got off work, we went back and talked some more and got a plan in place. And he talked about, hey, we need to get a brokerage account open. I'm like, well, what's that? He goes, well, that enables you to transfer large sums of money into there safely. Like you could transfer $10 million or whatever you get afterwards to your checking account. But if it's some little small town bank that goes belly up, it's gone because you're only insured for $250,000 each Social Security number that's on there. So you lose everything but $500,000. So brokerage accounts, from what I understand, is insured for whatever you put it in. So if you lose it all for not your fault, you're insured to get that back. I don't know how. I can't really answer that question, but for that big of a prize, I would definitely brokerage account. Don't put it in your checking account. Don't just take a check and go home with it. I mean, have the money wired safely to a brokerage account. But yeah, I mean, just Google, closest financial advisor to you and talk to 10, 15 of them. That large amount of money, I'd probably talk to quite a few, see what their opinions are, what their plans would be, and just get comfortable. Treat it like a first date. Ask questions. Get that connection. That's what we have. We got an instant connection with him, and we've been using him since that day, and he's been amazing. He's guided us through the good times and the bad times, for sure.
I mean, there's plenty of people that want to help you that are qualified, so there's no shortage of that.
Even the scammers. Even the scammers want to help. Like I had a few that worked in their basement, on their own. I'm like, I'm not going to let you control $4 million out of your basement. I don't know who you are. So I obviously decline those. So, and, obviously going to a little bit of a different subject, but the people that are commenting in the subjects down below of, hey, I reached out and said you won $20,000. Don't fall for that. Yeah, that's 100% a scam. They're just using my name to say that I'm giving out. I think I figured it up. It was 20,000 to 200 people. It was like $4 million. I'm like,
for people that aren't familiar, there was this text scam going out with your name on it. That
I think you made me aware of it. I didn't even know about it. Like it was my name.
Yeah, and so it claims that you were giving away a few $1,000s, and that they
I think it was 20,000 to the first 200 people that replied to this or something. And it said I was a Powerball winner. I'm like, I wasn't a Powerball winner. I was just a scratch-off winner. So, and the phone number, I even texted it, just saying I was somebody else. Like, hey, Bradley Hahn said I won $20,000. What do I need to do to get my money? And it was instantly, give us your debit card number, routing number, checking, so we can wire this prize to you. And that's just an immediate red flag. Like, don't do that, please. I'm not giving 200 people $20,000 each. I wish I could, but I don't. Thanks to last year's stock market, I don't even have $4 million right now. It's like a little less than that. But I'm not doing that. Don't fall for it, because you're probably going to get your checking account, whatever, drained by them. So it's sad. It's sad.
That's horrible. And we see. I've seen posts on social media, Instagram, and some other places where I mean, you're not alone. There's a lot of lottery winners out there that have these scams out there of people claiming to be these winners that are giving away this money. I mean, it happens. And so do you think they're in, all over the world, like in different places? And what are they doing?
I mean, I've had a few, it wasn't for my money, but it was like, you get those phone calls of, hey, you didn't pay your taxes, so there's an arrest warrant out for you, those kind of things. But they were using like a local phone number. Like it would come up as, City Hall. I'm like, why City Hall calling me, from my county? And it would be some foreign guy saying, hey, there's an arrest warrant out for you. You didn't pay you haven't paid your taxes and everything. I knew it was a scam, but my taxes are all paid. But yeah, they're doing that, like using local numbers, thinking it's somebody close by when it's not. They're actually overseas. I don't know how they do it. They're not just using my name. They're using anybody that wins the lottery just to get you excited, because they know a majority of people are, down in rough times right now with inflation and, the stock market and people losing money in their 401ks. There's a lot of desperate people, and I'm not blaming them for that. I mean, you see anything, somebody wants to give you $20,000, you're going to, really? Check this out. Just don't fall for it. Don't give your information out over text or a phone call, because you're going to get scammed. And they're just out to get you. They don't care about you. Once they got your money, you'll never hear from them again. You'll never be able to track them down or nothing. And it's sad.
And there are different places where you can report some of these scams, at least in the United States, to the feds, and we will put a link or two below of a couple places for people to do that. You had a text exchange, like you found this, and you actually texted these people, and we'll throw a couple of these up here on the screen. It says, are you claiming you're winning? Hell yeah, Bradley Hahn texted me. What is your full name? John Michael Williams. So you're saying that you're John Michael Williams. And the person says, congratulations, I would like to tell you your name is on the list to receive money. Let us know if you are ready to fill the claim requirement form. And then
you can say any name. You could text them 10 times and say a different name, and that name's going to magically be on the list because they want to scam you. They're just going to say, oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, you won. And that's why I just used a random name, and I knew they were going to say I won. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Just don't fall for it. I don't want you guys to lose money. So, and already tough times.
Right. And then you kind of called them out on it on the text.
I think after a while they just stopped replying because she was getting, I think it was a lady, and she kept promising me, like, this is real. I promise you. I'm like, well, I think I said something like, if it's real, then send me something to my PayPal or something, and then she never did. And I was like, well, if it's real, send me something to show proof, and then she never would. So, yeah, I really laid into them, but they don't care. They're just on to the next person to scam.
Yeah, and then I see there's an agent Gonzalez here who is telling you over text, congratulations, you qualify to receive a claim of $10,000. Did you have a valid driver's license and a state identification card to claim your winnings? And you said, no, it's suspended, but you really could use the $10,000. And it goes on, and they're seeking your phone carrier and all kinds of personal information. I assume they're trying to get into your bank account. They're asking for your banking information and everything.
If you give them your cellular device information carrier, they could potentially probably hack into it and like watch, when you log into your banking and see your credentials, and then get in there and, I don't know what they can really do, but yeah, they can potentially hack into your phone remotely and without you ever knowing it, and just see what you're looking at, what you're typing, get your passwords and all that. So don't give them that. Don't give them your ID, nothing. Just don't even text it. It's a scam, 100%.
And then you asked, why is Bradley Hahn being this kind? And they responded, hold on, I'm working on your winning. Your phone carrier is, and then it says, it tries to claim what your phone carrier is, but they're basically trying to get to your debit card.
Yeah, they were, they just wouldn't really answer some of the questions. So I knew it was like probably a little script they're reading, and they have to type it out what it says, and they're not there to talk to you. I was trying to get some information out of them, but they really didn't go into it. But yeah, when I called them out, it just kind of went silent. And right then and there, it's a scam then. So when they get called out like that. I like watching those on YouTube where the guy actually hacks them and their video cameras can see them, and they actually got some arrested. It was pretty crazy. Like, he actually hacks and scams them. You know, I forgot the name of the channel, but it's Scammer Payback or something like that. It's really neat how this guy can hack into their systems and see them and then get the police on them. It's awesome. So
that is awesome. That's yeah, fun to see. And I see this other text I have to mention, but you did call them out on this text. We'll put it up on the screen for people that are watching on YouTube. And if you're not, you can see this on YouTube, but it says, you're basically calling them out, and you said the text you sent is my name saying I'm giving away 20,000. Straight up lie. You can't prove, because you're saying your name was John Michael Williams. The fake John name I gave you magically is on your list. I could have said Mary Joseph Lionheart, and you would have said I won. And then they respond with, "You are so dump." And he said, "Dump? Then send me $10,000 via Gram and prove me you're real." And they say, stop stressing me out. Anyway, then it goes on and on, and they're calling you a dump. And, but I mean, yeah, that's just crazy that people would do that. That's awful.
I knew it wasn't just me. They do it to any Powerball winner. Like Twitter will, hey, if you like this tweet, we'll give I don't know what it is, $1,000 for every tweet and retweet. I don't know. I don't have Twitter, but I've seen them on the news and stuff. They do it to any. It's not just me. I'm no one special. They're doing it to anyone that won the lottery. They're just taking that name, saying they're going to give out this money and getting people excited to scam you. That's it. It's unfortunate, but once this is done, they're going to think of a different scam, a different way of scamming you. And there's tons of them out there. People fall for it. It's mainly, I wouldn't say mainly, but usually the older people, 60, 70-year-olds that may not understand this, or some 80-year-old that has dementia and doesn't remember it, and they're easy to scam, unfortunately. So yeah, it's not just me that they're using. They're using any name that they can get.
That's really awful.
I think they actually sent me, I think in the text, the original text like they send to people, the link was to the video that me and you did, the first one or second one. The link, I typed in the link, it actually took me to your channel, our video. So I'm guessing that's how they got my name. I mean, my name was online winning the lottery, so that's already out there. But it's weird how they had your link to your channel and video that we did in that text saying that I won, or that I'm giving away $10,000 or $20,000. So I was like, wow, they even had the link to your video. That's crazy. So
yeah, that's terrible.
You got scammers watching you. So
apparently so. Yeah, people of all types.
So, yeah, just be careful. Don't fall for it. It's tempting, because people out there, $20,000 can help a lot right now, even $10,000. Just don't fall for it. If it's not coming from me directly, and I'm talking to you right now, like on video where you can see my face, it's fake. So
yeah, exactly. And how does that feel to have that happen with your name in it?
It's like, it made me angry, but like nothing I can do about it. Just try to tell people not to fall for it is about all I can do. I'm not going to be able to catch them guys. They're going to set up shop somewhere else or change their phone numbers or whatever. They've got ways to be undetected. So I hate to see that happen. I hope nobody's gotten scammed. I haven't heard of anybody that's gotten actually scammed out of it. If they do, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. It's not like you can sue me for it, but you got scammed. It hurts. I wish I could give $10,000 to 200 people. I wish I could, but I would be almost out of money then, so I can't do that. So
no,
yeah, it sucks.
So that's one of the negative things that has happened with the lottery, but there's a lot of positive things as well. Of course, it can really help people's lives, and it's not a black or white situation, but in your experience, there's this whole debate out there of whether the lottery is a blessing or a curse. And we've talked about this a couple times before, but has it been mostly positive?
I would say 98% positive. Like I said, after I won all the stupid stuff I did with the money, with the cars, and going to Vegas, and taking $10,000, $20,000 of me, it's stuff that you just got to get out of your system. Hopefully you stop before it's too late. And thankfully I had a good support team around me to wake me up and say, hey, you don't be doing this. But yeah, definitely way more positive than negative here. Me and the wife, I would say in the 7 years that we've won, maybe 2 instances of like a little bit of argument over the money. Nothing that's going to cause divorce or anything, but it's all been positive. We've been able to take trips with the kids, Disneyland, Disney World, that we never would have been able to afford before. A house that we, can grow into because it's a bigger house. We were able to help charities out around Christmas time, the local hospital here for the children. We do toy drives and we donate money and stuff for them. We helped to build a private room. After I won, they were remodeling the 4th floor on Cardinal Inn. It was a cancer ward. And they were, looking for donors to help, build it, because that's how they operate there, is off donations and stuff, kind of like St. Jude. So I'm not going to say the amount because I don't feel saying what you donate to charity is, a good idea, because you're just looking for, congratulations. And I don't want the attention on me, but we donated money to help build a private room because the rooms there were 2 people in there, and these kids are, either dying of cancer or recovering from cancer. And they want to be just themselves and their family. So they were able to make each room private for just the kid, each have their own shower. So we were able to donate and get a room built, so that we did that. So there's so many things that you are able to do positive that we've done next to negative. There's not many negative things that happen compared to positive. So like I said, it's just how you want to make it. You want to be a good person and help out and give back, or you want to be the arrogant person who just disappears and screw everybody else. It's your choice to make. So
yeah, and everybody's different with what they do and how it does or doesn't affect their life. But I've had a lot of people after doing this podcast and this YouTube channel, and I've been on a number of shows, that people will say, "Oh, you're a paid actor. You didn't really win, or you work for the government, or nobody wins the lottery. You're being paid. You're being paid by the lottery to promote it." But people actually do win, and you are one of them. I'm one of them, and it happened. I mean, what do you say to those people?
I was trying to find an older ticket that Missouri had, and to find them, you can email in and say, "Hey, give me a list of where these tickets are at that you guys sell them at." And I got to know the guy after a while. We talked on Facebook Messenger a little bit through their lottery headquarter app, not just personal. And I think it was like that. And that was when the ticket was out. And I said, "Hey man," he's like, "What do you think about this new $30 ticket?" I'm like, "Oh, it's awesome." I said, "One of these days I'm going to win that 10 million. And then literally that next week I won. And people thought that guy gave me the inside information of where that ticket was at, when to buy it exactly, and all that. And I'm like, wow, people just think of the craziest things. That it just happened. They can't do that. It happened. You've seen the stories of, I think it was that one guy that got the job with the lottery, and he was able to go into the computer systems and put the number games in different areas of the world. It was like a hot numbers game or something. And he kept winning millions and millions of dollars, but he was having family members buy the tickets. And I guess he just kept getting greedy with it. And you see those stories, but this 100% guarantee is that he didn't give me any information. It just walked in, bought it, won. It was meant to be. So, yeah, I had that. That was the only one I had. Was, "Oh, that guy told you where the winner was." I'm like, "No, he didn't. Come on." I could see where people think that, but that was not the case. It was meant to be, So I just don't believe everything that you hear, or if you want to make the story up yourself, if it makes you feel good about yourself, more power to you. I'm not going to argue with you about it, but I know the truth, and that's all I need to know.
People actually do win, and it is very, very credible. There are some scams out there, but most of the lottery wins are not scams. I recently interviewed this guy, hasn't been released yet as of the recording of this video, but this guy that was in charge of one of the state lotteries in the United States, and he led this team of people that cracked the largest lottery scam in history. And
I heard about that,
yeah, And
read something about it. Yeah, I don't know exactly the story, but yeah, it'd be interesting to watch that.
yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on the back end of this, that's behind the scenes, I should say, that people don't necessarily know when you're buying a lottery ticket, to make sure that it is a credible game.
Yeah.
For example, that crazy Powerball jackpot that was in November, the largest ever in history. I mean,
Oh yeah.
remember, the drawing didn't happen when it was supposed to. It
Oh
went
man,
off the
a
next
lot
day.
of speculation. Yeah, yeah, a lot of people were speculating on that, like, oh, this is rigged. And then I think was California wanted. I think the rumor was, oh, California was the one that had the problems, and then California Magic wins. But it was actually Minnesota that said, hey, we're not ready yet. It wasn't California. That was the big thing on Twitter. It was like, oh, California's not ready for the drawing, and then California wins it, and everybody's like, oh, well, go figure. California won it because of the delay. But it's actually Minnesota that had computer problems with the sales numbers, nothing to do with California. So that was debunked. And I was a big believer back then of, do people actually win? Because I never knew anybody personally that won. It's a rare thing. But I always thought, well, maybe the lotteries, these top prizes, maybe they're saying people won just so they don't have to pay them out. They're real winners. But, with me winning, yeah, I believe it now. It took me winning to realize that, yeah, they do pay these out. It does happen. And that's why there's only 2 or 3 top prizes. They can't pay a lot of them out. So that's why it's rare, and it does happen. So I was a believer that maybe they don't. Now I believe it. So
Did people not believe you after it just happened?
it's hard to call somebody up and say, hey, I won $10 million. It's he, like my advisor, he didn't believe me either when I called and said, hey, I just won 10 million. I need to come in and talk to you, because this is one of my friends joking with me or something. So it's a big thing to say to somebody. You don't hear it every day. Hey, I won 10,000. That's probably a little bit more believable than, hey, I won 10 million. Even my parents didn't believe me. They thought, send me a picture of the ticket. You just gotta have proof. So, yeah, it's hard to get anybody to believe you after you won. And I'm like, I'm serious. I had the ticket right here. I promise you, it's real. It's hard to convince people. It's crazy, but it's a big shock change to understand.
Yeah, and it does happen. It does happen to people.
Mm-hmm.
People do win. So we are running kind of short on time here. It's such a unique thing to win the lottery. And as of the recording of this video, the second highest jackpot in history is happening. But whether you're listening or watching this now or a year from now, there are always these huge jackpots. So, I mean, it's really incredible. But is there anything else you wanted to say today that about your experience or?
Yeah, I feel we covered, me winning 10 million. I'm sure people are probably tired of hearing about it. Third video. We're not here to brag about it or talk about that too much. This is mainly about the Mega Millions and what to do and not to do and all the things come with it. Like I said in the video earlier, that, I would say is like 98% positive, and there's some negativity. My situation, I wasn't going out and just spending $1 million on dumb stuff and blowing it. Took my financial advisor and wife to really sit me down and understand it, because I grew up poor, like I said before, didn't really know what to do with that much money. It goes to your mind, like my advisor said. You take a crack addict, put him in a room with a big pile of crack, and tell him, hey, don't touch this. What do you think's going to happen? I wouldn't say you start getting addicted to the money, the aspect of being able to do what you want when you want, but in your mind, you're not thinking of what point do I stop spending money? And that's the whole crack addict with a pile of crack. Don't touch this. It's hard not to touch that and do something, because you never had this much money before. So just like I said, just be careful with it, because it will get those wheels turning in your head of good things and bad things. So just be careful. My situation, like I said, it wasn't me spending $1 million, $2 million and blowing it on gambling in Vegas or buying a bunch of dumb cars. It was, just doing stuff to my cars and, going to casinos in Vegas and stuff like that. And I just had to eventually just stop. I don't even gamble anymore. I stopped in August. I think my last trip to Vegas was this past August of 2022. I think I've lost the last 2 times. This last year I went twice. I lost both times. And just got tired of losing. And, the wife, we have some addiction issues in the family, somebody else not gambling, but, some other stuff. Don't really want to get into that. And she just doesn't want that to happen to me or get into a situation of being addicted to something like that. It could financially ruin you. So we had a good long talk, and I haven't gambled, haven't bought a lottery ticket, a casino, nothing since I think August 4th or 5th. And it's been a really good wake-up call, detox. Realizing that I didn't need to gamble. I don't need to gamble anymore. I've already got, $3 million or so sitting in the bank. I've already done what I set out to do before. It was to win a jackpot. And why do I need to gamble anymore? So, people do it for fun, but I don't want to get to the point with this much money that I go and lose 50,000 thinking, if I got 3 million, I can lose another 50,000. What's that? And it just keeps getting worse. And so I'm glad I was able to do that. And it's been great. Not gambling. So,
yeah, I mean, you've already made it. You've already hit the big one. Yeah. And if you do play the lottery, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I always tell people to, do it for, have fun with it and only spend what you can afford, play responsibly and have fun. It shouldn't be something that's stressing you out to play. It shouldn't hurt you to lose. If you can afford to lose it and you want to have fun for a chance to win because somebody will win, then play, but it shouldn't be something that's negative.
Yeah. It gets worse when you win like what I won because you feel invincible. Like, I can lose $100,000 in Vegas, which I didn't. I'm saying you can lose $100,000 in Vegas and think, well, I got 3 million. I don't care. No big deal. But you keep doing that, you're eventually going to run out of money. But when you don't have this money, you're out there maxing your credit cards out or taking payday loans out or whatever just to try to win a jackpot. When you win a jackpot, you got to think back at those times that you did that. If you did that and all that money you wasted, you don't need to do that anymore. You've already won millions of dollars. You've conquered what 99.9% of people don't get to conquer in a lifetime. It took me a long time to realize that I don't need to do that, and I'm glad I had a wife and a financial advisor there to teach me that. And it's going to take time because it's all new. You win that much money, you've never had that much. It's a different experience, and it gives you a different mindset at first until you learn. It took me a long time to learn the stock market, learn, how we make money and all this. It just takes a while, and just have a good team around you to talk to your problems. Don't hide them. If you're having gambling issues, talk to somebody. It can happen. I mean, gambling addiction it's real. I've seen it happen a lot. So, I mean, because you can go out and buy, I'm going to spend $10,000 and make a million tickets. You might win nothing. I mean, there's people that buy just $1, $2 ticket and win. You just don't know when that number is going to hit. So don't think spending $20,000 you're going to be guaranteed to win. It's going to give you a little better shot, but somebody said that if you literally can't buy every number combination out there. I mean, the computer system, there's no way they'd have enough paper to where you can buy. Plus, it would probably cost you $700 million now because it was $2 for Mega Millions. So if there's does that mean 1 in 303 million? Does that mean there's 303 million different number combinations, or? I think that's what that means. I don't know, but like I said, we're not going to get into that. But like I said, you can't buy every single number combination. There's no system out there that can print that many that fast. It would take, I don't know how long it would take, a ridiculous amount of time. And financial aspect of it, you wouldn't really come out ahead much at all. So just like we used to do, maybe $10. Like we'll buy, I think the wife bought $4 last night, $2 tickets. That was it. We didn't get a single number, but we only lost $4. It's a lot easier than losing $200 or $300 when the odds are that crazy high. So,
yeah, the risk reward. I mean, if you're risking $4 for a chance to win over $1 billion. I mean, that's a big difference there.
Yeah, makes it look low. Even if if somebody, what was it? I think it was the Powerball, that $2 billion. The Raising Cane's owner was buying tickets for his employees, like $50,000 worth. They didn't win. That just shows you right there. I think he spent $100,000 in 2 drawings and didn't win the jackpot. I don't even think he won $1 million. That just shows you right there, $100,000, and you still couldn't win the jackpot. It shows you how maybe if he would have, that would have been the best story ever. But you can't look at it like that, I'm not going to go out and spend 100 grand on Powerball tickets or Mega Million tickets. It's crazy.
No, definitely not. Although Mr. Beast, for people that are into YouTube, he's the most popular or has the largest YouTube channel out there. He hit 1,100,000. No, what was it? 111,111,111 subscribers, and then he went out and bought 1,111 lottery tickets.
Oh yeah, he did. He did a couple of videos where he bought, I forgot how many tickets it was. So it was $30 tickets. It was millions of dollars in tickets, and he was like had his whole team. Like you can look it up, Mr. Beast Lottery. I think it's two of them, and I think their biggest prize was maybe $1,000. And these were like a dump truck backed into the warehouse and just dumped tickets all on the ground. It took them days and days to scratch all that the whole team did, and that just shows you right there. He bought dump truck of them and still couldn't win $10 million. Not the 10 million. No, he didn't find the top prize, but they did have quite a few claimers of 1,000. I think that was the biggest. I could be wrong, but they had a lot of 500s and 100s, stuff like that. But it just shows you there. He spent millions of dollars and then still couldn't win 10 million. So it's, wow. I think the ticket I went on, there was like 13.5 million tickets printed before they started. So 3 tickets out of 13.5 million were $10 million winners. That blows my mind when I think of that. Like, wow, I won it within the first 4 months. Was there probably like 12 million tickets left, 11 million tickets left? It's just like a needle in a haystack, you know. But somebody's gonna win it.
Yeah, somebody will win. Lightning can strike. It literally only takes one.
I think the most I've ever won on Powerball was, I think I got 2 numbers in the Powerball, and I've been like for $8 or $10 or something. I've never won good on draw games. It was scratch offs, and slot machines were my winning ones. So,
well, you certainly won. Yeah, won big on the scratch off. That's so awesome. I mean, it's like a dream. I mean, I'm just putting words in your mouth. It was for me, at least. It was like a dream. That, I mean, it was just like 1 minute working at a gas station for a little over minimum wage, and the next, you know, it's like the life before, the life after. And it does the personality that who you are inside, for me at least, it didn't change, but it was like a lot of things did.
I mean, I got off work, night shift, $15 an hour, go from that to 1 hour later having a $10 million ticket in your hand is just crazy to think about. You go from that to that. I still can't believe it. So 7 years later, it still hasn't fully sunk in that actually happened. I mean, like a few weeks before I won, I was watching YouTube videos of how the lottery changed my life and what not to do if you win the lottery, how the lottery ruined my life. So I was like watching those videos. I felt like that kind of prepared me for after I won of what to do and not to do. I mean, I still made some mistakes, but you know, seeing how these people lost hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be another lottery stack. What is it, like within the first 5 years you go broke, or 6 years or something, you lottery winners are broke? And last year, before the stock market, you know, tanked, I think in January of last year, we actually had more money than what the lottery gave us initially. Last year, we lost, I think, 650,000. I lost my mouth there. 650,000 we lost in the stock market temporarily. It'll come back. You know, it takes time. I'm a down the road, and I'm not a today investor. I'm a long-term investor, so it hurts seeing that, but it'll come back. You know, in the 6 years with my advisor, he's made us like $1.7 million in returns. So, you know, we've had a lot of good runs, and you got to have a bad year sometimes. So, starting off good so far. So, I think we're up like 50,000 so far this year. So, we'll see how it plays out. You know, in case inflation goes down.
Yeah, you just have to stay in it. It can be frustrating. It can be scary. Like I was looking at it every day when I first got in. I'm like, wow, first day we lost $5,000. What the hell are we doing? You know, you can't look at it like that. You just got to give it time. And as your money sits there, every year we get more and more returns and bonuses, dividends, capital gains keep going up, because the longer it sits, the more you get paid out in profit sharing and stuff. So, like end of the year bonuses are just every year it just goes up and up. Last year was bad because the stock market was bad, but
In the good years, you will see your money just, if you don't touch it much, it's continue to grow. It's like winning the lottery every day when the stock market is up. Like yesterday, or I think it was last Friday, we made like $42,000 in one day. I mean, that's like winning, a draw game prize, $50,000 in one day. It's crazy. But in the bad days, you lose 100 grand. You're like, oh my God, I lost 100,000. But it'll come back. It's so much fluctuation. The stock market's the biggest gamble I think out there. So I can't really say that I don't fully not gamble, because the stock market is gambling, but I feel that's a lot better than spending on lottery tickets.
In most cases, unless you hit a major jackpot, it is better to invest in the stock. I mean,
it can be painful, but just give it time. It'll, like my buddy that won $3 million a couple of years ago in Missouri out west. He was a couple hours from me. He got in the stock market just as it started to crash, so he hasn't seen any gains yet. And he just can't stop gambling. I've been trying to help him. I'm not going to give his name out or anything, but he's with my advisor. I set him up with that. I didn't set up with that and helped him. But just the gambling aspect, he just can't stop gambling. And I've tried. You can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. And I think now he's finally realizing, because he's almost out of money. He's getting pretty low, way lower than what he had. And I think it's just too late of a wake-up call. But maybe he can turn around. He still has quite a bit, but it's gambling has just gotten to him. He thinks he can win again. You might, but you're going to spend a lot of money before it happens if it does. So it's dangerous. If you were a gambling addict before you won, you're going to be a bigger gambling addict after you win, because you're going to feel powerless. So just be careful.
If that is true, then that is just in line with this sense of becoming a larger, or that your personality sort of magnified. Would you agree with that? Or
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I got gambled a lot, but I wasn't like, addiction where I was, to the degree of people out there you see losing millions of dollars. That one guy you see every time the big drawing comes up, that he has like these big crates of numbers, draw games, and I think it was like $1 or $2 million he lost over his lifetime of playing draw games and stuff. And it's always the number one thing I see on Yahoo News is like, don't be this guy. This guy would tell you what not to do and buy tickets. So, it can lead into some bad things. I'm glad I stopped when I did, because I don't know, maybe I would have been a severe addict down the road. Who knows? But I'm glad I stopped, and it took me a while to realize that I don't need to go to Vegas twice a year. That's about all. I was just going to Vegas. I wasn't buying, books and books of tickets since my YouTube channel was done. I was just going to Vegas and taking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 with me, and I realized I don't need to do that, because they could lead it to really bad things down the road where I'm taking 50,000, taking 100,000. I don't want that to happen. So I didn't have to go and get help, counseling or anything like that. I just talked with the wife advisor. They helped me through it, and I realized I don't need to do this. And I pretty much quit cold turkey. I never really had any urges to any addictions or anything like that, where alcohol, I don't drink, don't do any drugs. It's hard to feel what an addiction feels like. You have addictions to, soda or, stuff like that, but stuff that can really hurt you, gambling, drugs, alcohol. I really never had that drive where I had to do it constantly. So gambling's fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a good time, but I just needed to stop to not get to that point of needing help and losing all my money and stuff like that. So, it's been a good wake up call and very good detox since August. I don't miss. Not saying I'll never ever gamble again, but for now, I don't see myself gambling anymore.
Well, I mean, you certainly don't need to for money.
No.
So
rather than
stressing out.
I have too much firepower. Of if I lose 5,000, I'm like, I can get another 5,000. It's no big deal to me. And like I said, it can just snowball into something worse. I don't want that mindset to happen. So nip it in the butt and stop. It was fun. I had my fun. I won some big prizes. I'm actually left Vegas still up like 20 grand over the lifetime. That big prize I won back in 2017. So all the losses I've had up to then, I'm still up like 20 grand. So I feel like I left Vegas up. I would say I'm up overall lifetime with the 10 million I won. So I just don't want to be a lottery stat of, oh, this guy went broke within 6 years, gambled all the way. I don't want that to happen. So it's not going to happen. So.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen to you. You seem pretty down to earth and smart with investing and with financial advisor, and so yeah,
wiser and wise. If I was single, I don't know what would happen. If I was single with that much money, who knows what that mindset would have been like. I'm glad I was married. Glad I got an advisor, lawyer, CPA to kind of keep me mindset, there. So without them, I don't know what life would be like single with $3-4 million in the bank. I don't want to think about it, but I'm glad I'm in the place I'm in now. So it's definitely good. So.
All of this is really, really, really interesting, and I could talk to you for hours, but just have a couple more minutes here. So one, is there anything else you wanted to say today? And two, what would you tell someone that wins the Mega Millions jackpot tomorrow?
Man, just soak it all in. It only more than likely is going to happen once in your lifetime. And when they say it's a once in a lifetime experience, you do, like I said earlier in the video, some people do win twice, but not very often. Take it all in, enjoy it. Don't let other people scam you or use you for money, or, don't just invest in whatever you think, just because your friend's doing it just to make them feel good. Just have a good support system around you, because you're going to have some thoughts in your head that could be good, could be bad. Just be careful and spend within your limits. $10, $20. You want to spend $100, you can afford it. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do it. Just be careful and do what's not going to stress you out. Like, oh crap, I can't, get groceries now because I spent $200 in Powerball and didn't win. Don't go that route. Just be careful and have fun. It's gambling can be fun if you keep within your limits.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Play responsibly, play within your limits, and have fun. And remember, you do have a chance if you win. I hate to be that guy, but that's true.
Everybody does. I mean, with the draw games, somebody's going to win eventually. Like lottery tickets, scratch offs, it could be 3, 4, 5 years from now for somebody wins the top prize. But with the draw game, it's going to happen probably within 3 or 4 months. Somebody's going to win eventually. You just don't know who or where. You hear about the stories, and it's awesome to see the people that were struggling and now they're millionaires. Just like with me, we were struggling. Now we're way better off than we were before. So it's. I think the only one story that really brought me down was Jack Whitaker, where he was already a millionaire, like 17, 18 million, won 300 something million, lost it all. I think he's dead now. I think he passed away. Lost his granddaughter to drug overdose, and I think his wife divorced him. He had money stolen out of his vehicle, his trip closed. It was just, that's where the money can lead you down a very dark path. And I'm glad I never went down that dark path like that, but it can happen. So just be careful. Take the time. You want to reach out to me or Timothy for advice or what to do, feel free. He's more than welcome to give you my email address if you want it. If you want to talk to somebody, and just from a winner's aspect, I'm totally open to that. I'm not going to be able to give you much financial advice because I'm not licensed with that, or tax advice. I can kind of tell you what happened to me, and it's up to you to talk to somebody and figure out what's in your best interest. So definitely here to help if you need it, if you do win, or inheritance. It doesn't have to be a lottery. It could be, hey, my mom and dad left me $2 million. What do I do? I could kind of guide you with that a little bit, just not too much into the financial taxes and stuff. So,
well, that's nice of you. And again, we will put links to the previous interviews below in the description of this interview that goes more in depth with your story and what it felt like to win, how you found out that you won. And it's really, really an incredible story. And it does, it happens to people. It happened to you. It happened to me, and it does happen to people. It is important to play responsibly, of course, as we've talked about. But but thank you so much for your time today,
thank you, guys.
Bradley. It's great to see you again. I really, really appreciate your time. Your insights are very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you guys for supporting Tim and the videos. I know these 2 that I've done before are well over 100,000 now in views. It helps him out. He doesn't pay me to come on or anything. I don't ever ask for anything. I don't need anything, but I just do this to help him out and get the information out to you guys and help however I can. I'm no expert. at lottery. I'm no expert at taxes or financial advice, but I can just tell you what I went through, and it might help you guide your way to, financial success. Sorry. So just, if you need any help, just reach out. I'm always here. Comment section. I'll answer some questions if I see them. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bradley. So that was my interview with Bradley Hahn. If you liked this interview, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this interview, and what would you do? What will you do if and when you win a major lottery jackpot? There are new interviews and videos coming soon on this channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when they come out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.